Hello, cats and kittens. Orewa Jose, Yoroshiku. We're back again in the Crisis Corner. So, we're back in the Crisis Corner and we're continuing the series of Intrepid promos in advance of the upcoming Pandora's Cage story arc. Our continual, you could say it's a public service announcement to educate our fans on the Intrepid series for your enjoyment. The more you know about something, the better you can enjoy it. Our first promo was the introduction to the series, just giving you an idea of what the series is about in an overall sense. This second promo is entitled The Mission Statement. What do I mean by that? Every book, comic books, be it a team book or an individual book, the characters have a mission statement. Why do they do what they do? Is it because with great power comes great responsibility? Is it because the world only makes sense when you force it to? Or what is it? Why do these people do what they do? Now, in the sense of the Intrepid, why do they fight crime? Or whatever it is they're going to do eventually. It's all going to play out in the series, but why? In Heroes and Villains, you find out how they met and their initial adventures together. Pandora's Cage is going to focus on why they stay together and what it is that they're supposed to do. Now, you look at take for instance the Fantastic Four. One of the inspirations for this book. The Fantastic Four facilitate their adventures because Reed Richards is a genius and he's always discovering things. So he wants to go to the negative zone. For some reason, he takes his girlfriend, her boyfriend, and his buddy from college. Let's go to the negative zone. And they go to the negative zone and they find a nihilist and Blastar, the living bomb burst, or whoever it is. They get into a fight, wackiness ensues. There's your adventure. With the Intrepid, they are primarily investigators. Investigators of what? It all comes down to the bad guys. The bad guys in this series have won. They won a long time ago. They won anywhere between 40 to 75 years ago. They won. Now, their victory is progressive. They're not stupid. They figured out that you don't go around and say, I'm taking over the world, plant your flag and say, now you're under me. You don't subjugate people like that because you get resistance. What you do is like what's that thing where they talk about cooking a frog? You don't cook a frog by throwing them into a hot pot of water. You put them in a lukewarm or room temperature pot and turn the heat up slowly. He'll probably fall asleep thinking it's all right. Everything's comfortable. By the time it starts boiling, it's too late. That's what the bad guys did. So their victory is not absolutely complete. They maybe have another 40 or so years until their evil is so institutionalized that no one would question it. It's not even evil anymore. It's just life. You know, why do they want to do this? That's a different story. It's complicated. But the point is, the events in Heroes and Villains, available now, an event in that book put a small crack in their plans. It exposed them to a certain extent. Even though they're in a comfortable position, the bad guys I'm saying, their plans are unraveling to a small extent. Now they're somewhat visible. What the Intrepid have to do is they have to take that small crack and widen it. They have to find out exactly how deep the rabbit hole goes. Who dug the rabbit hole? Who's on the other side? Put a name, a face to the name, or find a name and put a face to it and find out who did this. You know, how did we get here? You know, how did evil win and why are they still in power. That's the organizing principle of the team, which you'll come to understand clearer by the time we get to the end of Pandora's Cage. But that's basically what they do. They're investigators. Now, while they're investigating, they have, you can say they get into certain sidetracks because the world that they live in, there's no heroes at, well, there's no heroes at the beginning of the series. So the bad guys are being opposed by just government agencies, you know, cats with big guns and futuristic weapons, just people, humans fighting superhumans. Now, as the story progresses, that's going to change. All right, fine. But there's a lot of these bad guys running around and they have to be caught. So their primary mission is to investigate evil, but at the same time, if there's bad guys running around, they have to be caught. So that's like a side job, so to speak. I'll leave it there. So they have their mission statement is to investigate this nebulous evil that has apparently taken over the world with nobody even suspecting that they exist. Aside from that, just catch the bad guys that are terrorizing the world. And they get into adventures based on discovery to a certain extent because they do have a Reed Richards type person in the crew who discovers things or who likes to explore. So that's a substrata of what they actually do. But the main thing is they're investigators. They investigate and they have to bring the bad guys down. You could think of them as a collective Mulder and Scully. And they have to find the cigarette smoking man and take him down. Whether they should take him down or not in the end is going to be problematic. And the story will have an end. It's going to run to a conclusion. That's not necessarily to say they're all going to get killed or whatever, but they will run their mission to its course, to its logical end. It's going to take a while, but they'll come to their logical end, and either they'll get rid of the bad guys or the bad guys will get rid of them. There's only two ways it's going to end. But that's what you're getting into with Intrepid. It's a book of superhuman investigators trying to uncover a mystery that's might even be centuries old. Who knows? It may, at the minimum, maybe a century old. Could be more. But they just want to uncover this mystery, get rid of the bad guys, and that'll be the end of it. So that's mainly the notes that I have. Like I say, either they're going to win or they're going to get put down. Everybody's not going to make it out of this. It's not going to get like, it's not going to get that bad. Most of them probably will get out of it. But you don't know, and that's the cool part. Anyway, so that's the mission statement section. Next section that I'm going to get into is the actual team members. I'm going to start with my man, Joseph Paxson. That's my boy. We'll get into him next, and then we'll go down the line of the team. Members, and there's some other stuff I get into. But for now, you understand the mission statement for what it is. I can't give away too much because I don't want to give away the surprises in the series by saying things that you don't need to hear right now. The story is progressive. It's a very progressive story. It goes from bit to bit to bit, and it comes to the end. So, I hope you enjoyed this. I hope this was somewhat informative. Look forward to the next installment of our Intrepid Promos, which will be coming up fairly soon, within a few days. I'll work up the next segment, and I hope to see you then. If you got any questions, leave it in the comments. Like, subscribe, all that good stuff, and I'll see you soon. Stay loose.